Are you sick of Disney remaking and rebooting all their classic animated properties into live action films? Well, don't you worry, because this film is the perfect satirical palate cleanser that you've been waiting for. Are you not sick of Disney remaking and rebooting all their animated films into live action films and you love it? Well, this film is also for you. This film is really for everybody. This film is way better than it has any right to be. This film is exciting, fun, hilarious. It's action-packed. It's an action and adventure romp. It's got a bit of mystery and suspense and drama, but also it's just like one of the craziest visual live action / animated things. It's a spiritual sequel to Roger Rabbit. Like in Roger Rabbit, it's all got the toons and the Toon World, and they're all, you know, touching live action stuff, and we've got that again. The blending of the CGI characters and cartoon characters and live action, I don't think kind of came across as mind-blowing and just wow like Roger Rabbit does. Like the little tricks and things they did in that movie are just exceptional. But what this film excels in is just having so much fun with like the Easter eggs and the characters popping up here and there, but not doing it in a way where I'm just like, spot the thing. It's Space Jam Legacy. Look at the basketball court of all the characters. Is that guy from Game of Thrones? Is that the Clockwork Orange guys? You know, I mean, I've seen the trailer. I haven't actually seen that film, but I've heard that's what it's like. This film actually utilizes these characters in really fun, interesting, and sometimes terrifying ways. Like, one of the villains is old, grown-up Peter Pan, and played by Will Arnett, and it's exceptional. It's kind of devastating, and it's tragic, but it's hilarious and crazy, and just... This film is exploding with creativity and excitement and fun, but just like wild imagination and very clever use of things. We get Ugly Sonic, and it's not just oh look, it's Ugly Sonic. Remember when Ugly Sonic was a thing? It's like, he's a character in the film. It's not like a cameo. Look, oh, did you guys see Ugly Sonic? He's like a full-on character, and it's crazy. So Chip 'n Dale is set in a crazy, insane, amazing world where all of these Disney animated properties and essentially all cartoon characters from any kind of thing ever are just real people. Like, they're on sets shooting the scenes when they get hit and the birds go up top of their head being like, choo, choo, choo. They're real birds. Those birds go to bed. Those birds get caught up in the morning to come to a set and have a job. Like, it's crazy. It's so much fun. It's definitely not the first time we've seen something like this, but the way it was done was so kind of like real world and tragic at times. Like, at points I'm like, oh, this reminds me of BoJack Horseman, you know, with just like animal people and humans and just normal humans and stuff. But then like also BoJack Horseman is like about like an old film star who was really famous back in the day, but now he's kind of jaded and everyone kind of like doesn't like him anymore, but he wants to be in the limelight, and you know, all these kind of emotions of this like star, this has-been. This is like doing the same thing. Like, Chip 'n Dale used to be famous and they were like, oh, we're Chip 'n Dale, baby. But then like they split apart. There's like this really like damaged relationship, and they're both like has-beens, and they're not famous anymore, but they're like, oh, remember them from the 90s? Back in the 90s. And it's just like, I don't know. The story wowed me. It was so much more emotional and powerful than I kind of expected at all. I expected to kind of be like, oh, and here's the bit where we're 60 minutes into the 90-minute movie. Now we're sad for a bit. Oh, at the end, they high-five and they're friends again. And of course it does all that. But how it does it, how the characters kind of are presented, how, you know, their flaws and their, you know, the way they work off each other, the way they team up and stuff, it's all really sweet. It's all really adorable. It's beautiful. It's heartwarming. Honestly, this film completely wowed me. I don't know, it really brings everything to life in this really exciting, fun, but often sometimes very disturbing and terrifying way. But it never stops being hilarious. Like, it never stops being an absolute rollicking romp, adventure, fun, kind of Rescue Rangers adventure. And if you're like, Jax, this all sounds amazing, but I have no idea about Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I was never watching that back in the day. Well, guess what? I've never seen an episode. I mean, I must have seen them as kids. I must have seen episodes, because when I saw the visuals of them, I'm like, it's... You know, I know those visuals of one of them's got an Indiana Jones-esque kind of thingy, and the other one's got like a Hawaiian shirt. I know the guys, but I put on an episode on Disney Plus, which I guess is their idea. You know, it's like, you know, in some ways I can see people thinking about it cynically, but no, this film is so beyond that. It has so much more to say, and it has so much more fun. It's just so worth it. It's honestly made every Disney remake, like live action. It's Dumbo, but now it's live action Dumbo. They've all been worth it to get us to this film. I have no nostalgia for Chip 'n Dale. I have no fond memories of watching it as a kid. This isn't, you know, Dragon Ball Z or Jackie Chan the animated series, or, you know, other examples of things that I watched as a kid, which if they did this, I'd be like, oh, all the nostalgia, oh, all the Easter eggs and fun little references hidden throughout the film, which I'm sure there are, plenty that went over my head. But what this film nails is just like, it's picked two characters from like a 90s or late 80s kind of TV series, and, you know, an animated TV series, a Disney thing, but it could be any property. It could be any character. The story they're telling could work for anybody. And I think it just like works so well to kind of bring in newcomers to Chip and Dale, like myself, or for people that have just loved these characters forever and are really afraid they're going to do some kind of live action reboot and turn into a Dumbo, or like, I don't know, Alvin and the Chipmunks or some kind of thing like that. But this is so much more crazy, so much more meta. It's doing the whole, like, you know, poking at itself, poking at the whole concept of it, while kind of doing it at the same time. There's a lot of talk with one of the characters who's like, let's do a reboot, let's bring back Chip and Dale, while, you know, we're watching the reboot of Chip and Dale, but it's a lot of fun. They have so much fun in this film with just, like, playing with that idea and that energy with the two characters. They're so different, and they bring that perfectly visually to life, with one of them staying in that classic old school, like 2D kind of, you know, shading kind of animated thing. I don't know, Google it. I don't know exactly what's called. I'm not an animator, man. I don't know the fancy words, but one of them looks all old school and like drawn and stuff, and the other one is CGI, and he's all 3D and CGI like they would if they were just kind of making this movie without having fun and satirical, pokey-jokey fun at it all. And it's just an absolute blast. There are some wild, different, crazy characters. It reminded me a lot of Spider-Verse, the way they had all the different Spider-Men all have different kind of animation styles, but all blended together really cleverly. That still kind of feels different in a way where this kind of feels like, you know, it wouldn't work unless we'd had Spider-Verse. This film was directed by Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island, and of course, because of that, it's starring Andy Samberg, and he is so good in this. I love him in everything. I'm a big Lonely Island fan, and I just found him so amazing in this, so well cast. He's so much fun. He's always brings like a bright, vibrant kind of energy and kind of feeling to it all. And there's this amazing moment where they're all like, oh god, animated films. They keep trying to bring animated characters back and make them cool by making them doing a rap. And I was like, oh my god, Andy Samberg, he's a great lyricist, he's a great rapper, he's going to do some white boy rap, but it's going to be great! And then he does a rap in it, because of course he does, and then they're like forced to, but you know, circumstances thingies, and it's just gloriously terrible. Like, it's just peak. They know they could probably actually do something kind of fun and awesome, but they make it so bad. It's so funny. One of the highlights of the whole film. But honestly, his performance, and every single performance, we've got J.K. Simmons in this, everyone in this film is amazing. But particularly John Mulaney, who plays Chip, and Andy Samberg as Dale, our titular Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers. Honestly, if you're on the fence in any way for this film, just check it out. Within 15 minutes, you'll know if you're gonna love this film more than anything, or you're gonna be like, it's just not for me. I mean, you'll probably know after like 5 minutes. But this film is just rollicking, crazy fun. It's colorful, it's zany, it's creative, it's fun, it's imaginative. It's all the words, it's all the good words, but also really emotional and like dramatic in a really like surprising way. Like the heartwarming kind of emotion and, you know, character development we get for these two characters is really well done. It's very generic, but I think the way they handle it and the way they kind of make it work within this story and this crazy world of Hollywood where all the animated characters exist in real life is spectacular. The main mystery is to do with bootlegging and, you know, drawing animated characters to look different, to be bootleg characters, and it's all really awesome, really, really fun and inventive. I love the idea of it. The mystery is really fun. I just left this movie glowing. I was just like, what the hell? This was awesome! Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. I would love to know what everyone thought of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.